Greetings and welcome back to another video. So I want to bring you this video of Vivid, who's a GOP candidate on CNN, and he basically destroyed CNN right in their face. And I think this is where a lot of the American people stand. Okay, so the question that was posed to him was if he was going to clear Donald Trump of all this indictment once he, Vivid, becomes president. And I want you to watch his response, then we will follow up.
Donald Trump on day one. Now you've seen the allegations, and you've seen that he stored highly classified information like nuclear secrets and others in unsecured areas of his country club. Given everything that you've seen, do you stand by your promise to pardon him if he's convicted?
Reading that indictment and looking at the selective omissions of both fact and law, Dana, I'm even more convinced that a pardon is the right answer here.
Why?
The top question actually we should be asking is, what did Biden tell Merrick Garland? What did Merrick Garland tell Jack Smith? Because what I see in that document is deeply politicized. Not a single mention of the Presidential Records Act,
That's right.
the most relevant statute to the actual alleged crime here. Selective statements from President Trump's statements on the campaign trail in 2016 about classification and how he'd treat it, without one mention of the fact that he actually, after he was elected in 2016, said he would not prosecute Hillary Clinton and would not want to see her prosecuted. And by the way, no one's mentioned this yet. This was what stood out to me. The classification scheme itself was defined not by statute, but by executive order, which is interesting because executive orders, appellate courts have held, do not bind a U.S. president with the force of law. So this is selective prosecution. I think it's irresponsible not to have included any treatment of those facts or law in this indictment.
Right.
It reeks of politicization, which is why I want to go back to the top question that the media actually should be asking. What did Biden tell Garland? What did Garland tell Jack Smith? That's what you need to be getting to the bottom of.
The White House insists that he has absolutely no connection to this, that the whole reason the special counsel was put in place is to take it out of politics. But I want to read something. I want to read something that Bill Barr, President Trump's own attorney general, said just this morning on another network. He said, quote, "If even half of it is true," speaking of the indictment, "then he's toast. It is a very detailed indictment, and it's very, very damning." This is the former president's own former attorney general.
I think we have to be able to draw a distinction between bad judgments. I would not have made the judgments that President Trump made. It's a big part of why I'm in this race, is I think that I would have made different judgments
like
than
what?
Trump made.
What would you have done differently?
Well, I would not have taken those documents with me, and I would have returned them on demand, because that would have actually set up for a much more constructive discussion. But there's a difference between a bad judgment and breaking the law. And when especially the federal police apparatus conflates the two, that's a threat to liberty for everyone, not just President.
See, this is my whole point. Thank you, Vivid, because I think he brings out a lot of points that everyone who's watching from CNN begins to question. I think the American people are caught in between this Fox News and CNN, okay? And the reason is because the legacy media has made up their mind to divide America. And I think that's where it starts from. Has made up their mind to divide America left and right. So anytime you go and get information from the left, is screwed in a special way. From the right is the whole part of the pie has changed based on where you go and get your information. And what Vivid is saying is, if an American president or an ex-president has to go through this, how would the national or regular American, how would they be able to sustain or fight something of this nature? It is unfair. The process for indicting an ex-president on holding classified documents needs to be done in a particular order. And because in this case it was not done in a particular order, it makes everything questionable. You know, Biden was asked if he knows what is happening with his attorney general and the processes of Trump being indicted. He said he has no idea. And this is where the American people, we sit back and ask ourselves, does he think we're fools? You know, he thinks we don't know that this is being used as a political, strategy, or is being weaponized. We know that it's being weaponized For you to say that you have no idea what your attorney general is doing, it's insulting to the American people as we sit back and watch. We ask ourselves, is he serious? Are we supposed to accept this? Are we supposed to tolerate this? And it makes the division of America even more. That is why the base is rallying up with Trump. That is why they're more eager to go in and vote and change this outcome and change this nonsense and show the rest of the world that this is really not what America is. America is not a banana republic that when you as a sitting president do not like what your opponent is doing, and we have to say this, Trump is the #1 GOP candidate. Whether we like it or not, he is. But he should not be, the justice system should not be weaponized to fight Trump. It sends uncertainty and mistrust to the American people. That's why we say the election was questionable. It was questionable. These are all signs that lead to the fact that it was questionable. Why are you going after him? Why are you not going after Hillary? Why are you not going after Hillary? Trump didn't want to use his justice system to go after Hillary because he knew how that was going to send the message that it was going to send and how that could trickle down from future presidents. He didn't want that to happen. So he nipped it in the bud and said, you know what? I'm going to let her go. I'm going to let her go. But we as the American people are asking ourselves, what is happening in the United States of America? Why do these people want us to accept this narrative? It's unfair. It's ridiculous as we sit back. And we're telling ourselves these questions. It's ridiculous. It's unfair. And for that reason, people will go to the polls. People will go to the polls, whether for their pockets, for their security, for whatever it is that they're voting for, they will go. And especially for the injustice, for the unfairness of the Justice Department. And then we have to wait. We have to wait. So imagine all this thing goes through trial, right? It goes through trial and Trump is acquitted. I mean, it will just be off the chain. I think that's what's going to happen. And it's going to change a lot of things in the voting process. It's going to cause a lot of change. Thank you so much for sticking with me through the end of this video. And if you've done that, why not subscribe? Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. I'm waiting. Subscribe. Thank you and see you on the next one.